And welcome back to Atreyu News. More from Teddy Cruz. Just dropped the mic. That's a wrap, folks. During Neil Gorsuch's confirmation hearing, Senator Ted Cruz decided to school the Democrats on history and it went viral. Senator Ted Cruz took Democrats to task during Judge Neil Gorsuch's confirmation hearing a decade ago. Judge Gorsuch was confirmed by a committee for the Federal Court of Appeals by a voice vote. He was likewise confirmed by the entire United States Senate by a voice vote without a single Democrat speaking a word of opposition. He continues, "What has changed? In the decade since, Judge Gorsuch has had an objectively exemplary record. By any measure, he has shown himself to be even more worthy of the bipartisan support he received back then. To answer Cruz's rhetorical question, what has changed is that Trump was elected president. And so true it is. Of course, it's the only reason they stand opposed now. Democrats do not have any convictions. They only care about winning. It's not about Judge Gorsuch. It's about opposing everything and anything that Trump proposes. But it's pretty hard to propose them in style, isn't it? When the Republicans have the Senate and Congress. That's what's so funny about it. Democrats' strategy is doomed to fail. They are not just opposing what President Trump wants, they are opposing what the American people want. And we are watching. Not just that, the whole world is watching. Wow, Seattle raises ammunition tax, and the result is sad. Seattle's gun and ammunition tax has raised less than $200,000 during its first year, from a projected $300,000 to $500,000. It appears gun owners decided to shop elsewhere. From the Seattle Times, Seattle's tax on the sale of firearms and ammunition raised less than $200,000 during its first year, according to Seattle City Council member Tim Burgess. The city had previously kept the revenue information confidential to protect taxpayers' privacy, as reported in a recent Seattle Times story. In an email sent to the Times Tuesday, Burgess wrote, "City and state laws prohibit the city from releasing specific tax information when such information is likely to identify specific taxpayers. In this context, we can report there were approximately 15 potential firearm and ammunition taxpayers in the city for 2016. During its first year, the firearms and ammunition tax payments received by the city were less than $200,000. The city is using the tax to support gun violence research at Harbor View Medical Center in Seattle, but the city isn't spending the money until 2015. A lawsuit challenging the tax is resolved." Burgess spearheaded the tax, which was adopted by the council in 2015 and took effect January 1st of 2016. When Burgess proposed the tax, he said the city's budget office has estimated it would raise $300,000 to $500,000 per year. Though the money from the tax isn't being used, the research is intended to pay for is moving ahead, with $275,000 that the council allocated for 2016 to 2017 coming out of the city's general fund. Breaking: Obama administration members could be facing charges. According to Bob Woodward, Obama administration officials could be facing charges for surveillance of Trump and transition team members. From the Washington Examiner, the Washington Post Bob Woodward warned on Wednesday that there are people from the Obama administration who could be facing criminal charges for unmasking the names of the Trump transition team members from surveillance of foreign officials. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Representative Devin Nunes said earlier that he had briefed Trump on new information unrelated to an investigation into Russian activities that suggested that several members of Trump's transition team and perhaps Trump himself had had their identities unmasked after their communications were intercepted by U.S. intelligence officials. The revelation is notable because identities of Americans are generally supposed to remain masked. If American communications are swept up during surveillance of foreign individuals, during an interview on Fox News, Woodward said that if the information about the unmasked is true, it is a gross violation. He said it isn't Trump's assertion without proof that his predecessor wiretapped Trump Tower that is of concern, but rather the intelligence officials named the Americans being discussed in intercepted communications. You can learn all kinds of things from diplomats gossiping, because that's what occurs. Under the rules, and they are pretty strict, it's called minimization. You don't name the American person who is being discussed, Woodward said. And the corruption and the scandals will continue forever and ever to the end of time. I sure would like to see some of these assholes get locked up, though.